glittered art. Guess who we have for you today? Yes, it's Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls, and today I'm going to show you how to make lovely Blossom here. We also have Bubbles and Buttercup, which I have to say I haven't shown you in the video how to do, but the principle's the same. You just have to change the hairstyles, and I know you can attempt those on your own as well. That's what crafting's all about, is experimenting and having a go and doing things your own way. So come on, let's take a look and see how we make Blossom. We need to make our Powerpuff Girls, we'll need a pinkish paper if you've got one. If you don't have pink paper, I would make it in white and just leave it white. The contrast obviously won't be as good, but I still think it look really lovely. Or you could use a white paper and you know, maybe use a pen and color it in sort of like a skin tone. I happen to have this paper, don't know where from, but I'm just lucky. So I've created half of A4, cut it so it's A5, turned it, folded it over into a triangle, cut it along to get this sort of square, and this is roughly 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters. Now we're going to bring in the pointy corner up to the top corner, bring in this corner up to that corner, like our basic bookmarks. Open it all up, fold it down, bring over one flap and tuck it in. Now we'll bring over this flap and also tuck it in. Now, because we are going to be cutting away, I'd say a reasonable amount of this bookmark, I'm going to just glue it down. So I'm going to open it up again and put some glue across. It doesn't have to be super accurate, just enough. There we go. Now I have to confess, each one of my little bookmarks ends up slightly different size, but you know what, I think that's okay, it doesn't really matter. It shows it's handmade and special. Now I need to find my pencil, but I can't find it, so I'm going to have to use a pen. I've got a cup, you can use a glass or anything similar. I'm going to roughly draw out my circle. Actually, you know what, I'm going to do it this way around because this is going to be my back. No, it's only rough because you're probably going to end up cutting out more than this. It's actually quite a small bookmark. There we go, just those rough marks, roughly circular. We don't actually need a circle, we need a slight oval, but this gives you a rough sizing, and I think that really helps to get this craft going. There we go. So you've got your basic shape. Now, if you look at this one, that's quite bigger, isn't it? I ended up cutting quite a lot away. If you look at this one, I cut away a bit more as well, but not tons, yeah? So really, it's up to you to see how big you want yours. I'm just going to trim it to get it a little bit more in line with the other two. It's not an exact science. You just have to kind of give it a go and experiment. I know sometimes you worry about wasting paper, but you know, when you're learning to do crafts, sometimes you do waste a little bit, and I don't think it's the end of the world. So I think that's quite similar to that one, so that's good. So I'll keep it that way, maybe flatten it a bit at the top. There we go. Now I want to create the eyes and the hair. So for the eyes, you need to cut 4 lots of circles, yeah? So you need one big circle. Now again, I don't have an exact size. I just had a go, and then basically I assembled it all before gluing it down and checked to see if it looked right. So this is probably the sort of the size of, I don't know, £2 coin maybe. So you could use that and see if that fits with your bookmark. I'm going to check against my previous examples. So that's roughly £2 coin. Then you're going to need 2 little ones for the center. So these are a bit bigger than a hole punch. You could use a hole punch, but I think a bit bigger is good. Also, you might want to draw your circle first and not cut freehand like me. I just have a lot of practice, so I find it a bit easier. Not always, but it's still a little bit, actually a tiny bit smaller, I think. Maybe use my little scissors because this is very fiddly. There we go. Then I need the pink. So the pink needs to be a bit smaller than this. Let's have a look. Okay, so if I cut it within this section, I should be all right. So not too much smaller, just a bit smaller, because you only want a bit of the white of the eye showing. I think that might be a bit too small actually. I might have to have another go. Let's see. I think that is too small. The black should be about this big, so let's have another go. See, we all have to have several goes sometimes. It's only a little bit bigger. That's a bit too big now. La la la, tiny bit more off. I think that's good. There we go. Nice. And now we need the 2 black circles. Now we said that that size is quite good, so I might use that as a little template. Let's have a look. Ah, dearie me, another tiny bit of cutting off. There we go. Yes, that looks good, don't you think? So if we put those together, oopsie, I think that looks quite nice. Next, we need to sort out the hair. Now, I always find the hair the trickiest. Cutting out circles is one thing. Getting the hair to kind of fit and kind of go across where you want it to go is quite another. So I want it to go roughly. I'm going to do it a bit bigger because this isn't a pencil, this is a pen. I wish I'd had my pencil handy. Don't like doing rough drawings with pens. It's easier to do it with a pencil. Have a look. I think that's actually quite good first time. Goodness, I'm surprised. I was expecting to do that at least twice. Now so I've cut it straight here. I'm actually now going to shape it a little bit. So with her hair, it goes in a bit like that, like so. Then also, I use my little scissors for that. She has a little bit like this, and then here and here. Let's have a look. Looks about right, don't you think? I hope so. It's a bit tricky, isn't it? Okay, so the next bit I want to do is just to add a black outline to give it that cartoony effect. So I think for the hair it's quite good to do that. Right, I also want to glue all my eyeballs together. I've decided that I want these little white bits a bit smaller. I think they're a tiny bit too big. And then I also want to give the eyes a black outline. Right, let's have a quick peek. See if this is heading the right way. I think so. Oh look, so exciting. Brilliant. Right, then I need 3 pieces left. I need to kind of create the bow, which looks a bit like a bunny ear, with a small piece in the middle. Again, I might have to use the small scissors for this. Now, I always get a bit overexcited and probably cut things a bit too big, so I might have to cut them down again. Let's have a look. What do you reckon? That's quite good, isn't it? Yeah, maybe a tiny bit thinner. And then I'm going to give it some black outlines again for that cartoon effect. Right, I'm so excited. Time to glue it all together. So the first thing we need to do is glue the hair piece, not all the way because I want to make sure the eyes go in the right place. So let's have a look. I have that roughly. I haven't glued all the edges down, so we can just make sure that this pops in under, because I want it quite high, I think, because it goes a little bit over her eyes, doesn't it? I think that's quite good. What do you think? Yeah. Which also makes me think maybe just trim this a tiny bit more. Otherwise there's a lot of face left over. I'm going to stick it inside because I want to be able to see my hair piece when it's in the book as well. Here we go. And there. Now one last little bit before we're done. You can see the lights fading already. All my colours are all over the place. Last little bit is to add the smile. Here we go. So don't use a pen that's too thick for this, otherwise it won't look as nice. And there you have it. Aren't they simply wonderful? Now, like I said, they're not all exactly the same, they're not all perfect, but that's what homemade things is about. It's about making things that look lovely, aren't perfect, but are made with love. So, hope you like these. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, see you again soon. Bye!